This is the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show, sponsored by your North Texas Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive.
Welcome, everyone. Joe Trahan with you, Jonah Javad as well. It's the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show. And listen, this is one of these shows where you got to vent a little bit after things like that happen. The Cowboys were absolutely inept in a 47-9 loss to the Lions, who absolutely dominated the Cowboys from the opening gun. Things never turned around. They just kept giving it to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys put up very little resistance. I'll say it off the top of the show, just like I did on Sports Special. That effort, that performance was gutless. All right, we've set the tone now. So, Jonah, what do we got on the show today?
Yeah, tell us what you really think, Joe.
Yeah,
all right, let's get right to it. What's on the show? Sponsored by NFM.
Here's What's on the Show, sponsored by NFM.
We are required by state law to dig into what happened today in Arlington. Yet another Cowboys melty on their home turf. What went wrong against the Lions, besides everything? How much blame and pressure should be on head coach Mike McCarthy, and where does the team go from here as they enter the bye week? Yes, the bye week already at 3-3. So, Joe, that's what's on the show. Who's on the show?
Yeah, I like this. We got a great show for you. We got a great lineup. We got one of our regulars. We got the one and only Clarence Hill from DLLS. All City. He's with us as well. And then what a great day for my guy, Chris Lawrence, our main anchor at WFAA, who also happens to be a Lions fan. And wow, Chris, we got to start with you, man, because for most of that game, albeit one very bad play for your Lions, I suspect you had a fantastic time. Tell me about it.
Man, my dad flew in from Michigan. This was the revenge game from last year. You know, that failed 2-point conversion that just sat with us for so long. But I didn't expect this. We were talking to a bunch of Cowboys fans as we were coming in, and it just kind of talking it out. And I said, I'm thinking 31-21. I think it's going to be a shootout. I know, Mike is not there. DeMarcus Lawrence is out. So I think we'll score, but the Cowboys are going to put up points too. But did not see that coming at all.
No, I don't think anyone did. And Clarence, I want to get your thought, because listen, we all knew that the Cowboys were going to have a tough time against the Lions, but no one thought that the Cowboys would be non-competitive. Chill, they didn't show up for this one.
No, they didn't show up. I was almost like Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl yesterday. I mean,
I should have known.
They were listless. They were listless, punchless. No, you didn't see this coming. That was a dreadful performance on both sides of the ball, but especially on offense, because you were looking for the offense to hopefully make up for the challenges that the Cowboys had on defense. And Dak Prescott was awful, and he had no help, no running game. The offensive line was bad. The coaching was bad. You didn't have any players that made plays for him. Jake Ferguson had a catch he could have made that could have helped turn the momentum. Same thing with Jalen Tolbert. Had a ball go through his hand, had a chance to turn momentum. They were bad all around. This was an awful performance, and I think this is a low point for the Mike McCarthy era. You're talking about a situation where he's already is coaching for his job in the last year of his contract, and I know they're 3-3, but let's be real, okay? The good teams they played, they had the doors blown off of them, and this is like a 3-3 team with the arrow pointed down. They're the critical mass right now for the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy.
I think you're right. Jonah, what's your take?
I think we saw what could have happened in Pittsburgh happen today in Arlington, right? Like, you can beat the Steelers with injuries on the defensive side of the ball without getting to the quarterback the way they didn't really need to against Justin Fields, because that's a different type of offense Pittsburgh has. But Detroit throws the ball really well. They have a creative offense under Ben Johnson, their OC. And we saw the absence of Tank Lawrence and Micah Parsons in that getting after the quarterback defense. We saw those injuries really show up today, and I don't think anybody expected it to the degree they saw it today, but that was noticeable to me.
It was incredible. And listen, the home field advantage that this Cowboys team used to absolutely revel in has just dissipated and gone the other way. I mean, this is a Cowboys team that won 16 straight games at AT&T Stadium over 2022 into 2023. And over the last 4 games, they've been outscored by a combined total of 82 points. You guys, that's nearly 3 touchdowns on average per game. I just can't stop scratching my head about the way this thing is turned around at home. Chris, you were there and got a chance to be in that environment. How quiet did it get? How loud were your fellow Lions fans able to be? Because I'm sure Cowboys fans were just sitting on their hands.
Oh, hey, man, I could hear, like, the crowd yelling, Jared Goff, Jared Goff. I mean, you could hear it reverberating in the stadium. I mean, there were a lot of Lions fans that tuned up for this. And I think by the Cowboys just getting behind so much so early, that just took the wind out of the sails. I mean, I think, you try to muster enthusiasm, but there was just nothing for a Cowboys fan to get excited about. And on the other side, I mean, when you're in your bag of tricks, dialing up, pitch passes and routes for offensive linemen, I mean, you are there to embarrass the other team.
And that was a point I want to make sure we put a stamp on, because there was a revenge factor for the way that game ended back in December. I think Dan Campbell thought that they were robbed with the way that game was officiated at the end of it and the way that thing played out. And not only did he make sure that his team wasn't going to win, he made sure that he rubbed it in the face of the officials. Oh, by the way, did you notice on the first play who reported as tackle eligible? Dan Skipper.
Taylor Decker.
Right?
Yeah, Taylor Decker.
And then they're throwing routes to Decker. And then they got are you kidding me, the hook and lateral to the offensive lineman? I don't know if I've ever seen that play, but Dan Campbell pulls him out. But, Chill, I do want to talk about this loss, because it's the largest home loss of the entire Jerry Jones era. And the way that things have turned around at home for this team, what do you make of it, and what do you think it means moving forward?
And that's just it, because the idea that they're going to get Michael Parsons back and take Lawrence back and everything's going to be fine, that's folly. That's not happening. And Jerry Jones already said he's not signing anybody else. Mike McCarthy said we're not getting any help, and we got to deal with the guys we have. And the notion that you're just going to get better by osmosis, they're in denial. They're in denial about where they are. You go back to the offseason when Jerry Jones lied about being all in. They did not. They got Mike McCarthy on a one-year deal. They got all the coaches on a one-year deal. They did not add to the roster in the offseason. They played with Dak and CD and their money until the start of training camp. This thing has been a train wreck from the beginning. The environment they're trying to win. And Mike McCarthy has to go to at least the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl to keep his job. Getting to the playoffs won't do it, And so I don't know what confidence you. I know Dak talked after the game about, in 2018, we're 2-5, and we turned around and got on a run. They traded for Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
There's no Amari Cooper trade that's going to change the fortune of this team out there moving forward. And you could look it over at the last 11 games of the season. That looks like they're going to be playing out the stream.
You could trade for him again.
They might need to. Hey, that's not the worst idea I've heard. All right, listen, we got to take a quick time out, but we do have plenty more to talk about that Cowboys offense, plus more from our main man, Chris Lawrence, having a great day as our resident Lions fan. All right, keep it right here, folks. We've got the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show coming back.
Today's headlines, sponsored by your North Texas Chevy dealers.
Rather than spend more time on that terrible Cowboys loss, here's some other news. The Eagles are the only NFC East team to win today, 20-16 over the Browns. In the majors, the Dodgers take Game 1 of the NLCS against the Mets. Ohtani with 2 hits and an RBI in a 9-0 win. And the New York Liberty avoid another collapse. They even the WNBA Finals against the Lynx with an 80-66 victory.
Welcome back to the show. We're pouring over that 47-9 loss. The Cowboys absolutely inept as they took on the Detroit Lions, who look like they are poised for big things. Joe Trahan with you. We've got Jonah Javad, Clarence Hill, and our main anchor, Chris Lawrence, our resident Lions fan who is having a fantastic day after going to AT&T Stadium with his father and seeing that absolute demolition that was done at the hands of his Lions. All right, you guys. I do want to talk a little bit more about the Lions, but before we do, I want to talk about that Cowboys offense. And Chill, listen, this one is right up your alley because you have seen Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and everything that they have done since they have both been a part of this team together. And I ask you, Do you see something wrong like I see something wrong? Do you think it's the other people around them, or is there something in particular with Dak and CD that is amiss?
Okay, let me address one thing first. Chris, learn from the Saints. Don't let this be your Super Bowl. Don't let this be your Super Bowl. You guys are all excited, feeling good, setting the world on fire, beating the Cowboys.
Did not work well for us Saints fans.
The Saints have not won a game since dancing at AT&T Stadium. Please don't do that. You guys
the
have a
Lions
good
are
team.
so much better than the Saints. It's not even
I understand
funny.
that you want to
I'll
show
tell
the
you
world,
straight up.
but they're feeling good about this win. And I want to say this, that Dak Campbell was being a little petty. He was petty today.
Yeah. He was petty.
With all those plays.
Yeah.
He was being petty.
I kind of like it, though. He was petty.
Oh, I like petty.
I like
but
it.
he was being petty, trying to get offensive lineman to score a touchdown.
Des Bryant was tweeting about that. He was like, hey, man, this is like embarrassing. We got to talk about this.
Yeah, so it's one thing to throw it to him. It's nothing to do a hook and ladder to offensive tackle. You're being petty. But to answer your question about CD and Dak are fine. I disagree that there's something wrong with them.
Okay.
The issue is the other weapons. They have no one else. It's been CD and a bunch of maybes for the last 2 years. I've been saying this. They have no running game to speak of. Okay?
None.
The running game, not having a running game affects this offense. They have no playmakers. You look at what the Lions have, the firepower, the dynamic playmakers they have in the backfield, in the receiving core. It's CD by himself, and the Lions tried to take him away. They use cloud coverage, you double coverage, make somebody else beat you. They got tight end and receiver running into each other, running the same routes. Again, the other guys did not make plays. There's nothing wrong with Dak and CD.
And listen, Chris, I just want to make sure everyone knows, Chris is a huge sports fan, and he knows his sports. I'm curious, Chris, outside of CeeDee Lamb, is there anyone on that Cowboys roster that gave you any reason for pause going into that game?
No, and Joe, you and I talked about this the other night. I mean, he torched the Lions last year. I mean, eviscerated them. I think you and I talked about he had
227 yards.
Yeah, he had 227 yards receiving, which is like 2 games worth of great games in one game. So he was the one. That's why I said this game's probably going to be 31-21, because I'm like, even if we slow CD down, he's going to get 130, 140, a touchdown or two. So, but outside of him, running game, no. No Michael Gallup. Just not a lot of weapons that you feel like you have to account for.
Listen, I just think that we are getting a master class in how football works and how it doesn't work, more importantly, when it comes to the Cowboys. It's such a complimentary game because, listen, when teams do try and take away a guy like CeeDee Lamb, other players have to step up and they have to hurt opposing defenses, because if they don't, the defensive coordinator doesn't care. And that's what we're seeing with the Cowboys. And I don't know if it's going to get much better. We've seen flashes from Rico Dowdle and Jalen Tolbert, but they couldn't keep that going today. And that was one of my keys for this game. It couldn't just be a flash for them, and that's what it's turned out to be. How dire do you think the complementary player situation is?
Yeah, it's big time. I mean, Clarence said the magic word, playmakers. You need playmakers in the NFL to win games and to win championships. You look at San Francisco, they've got a playmaker in Christian McCaffrey. They got a playmaker in Deebo Samuel. They got a playmaker in Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. And who do the Cowboys have is just CeeDee Lamb. And here's the deal. You can have a great playmaker like that and still win a whole bunch of games, but they don't have top-end speed. They don't have another player to help stretch the defense. And so teams can cloud CD and force other guys to beat them in one-on-ones. And when you don't have speed or athleticism or dynamicism to do that, that becomes a deficit. And then you're asked Dak Prescott to play like Superman when that's not really fair to him, and this offense is not schemed up in a way to allow that.
Dak simply has to be perfect with the way things are right now. And we know that Dak's not perfect. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's as constructed, it's not going to work. Chris, I am curious in terms of how this felt, not while it was happening, but after it was all said and done. You get the blowout win. After what happened in December, what did you leave the stadium with, Chris, as a Lion fan?
I mean, it was a little bittersweet just because of Hutch's injury. I mean, it felt like the offense now is clicking on all cylinders. They had a really, really slow start to the year. I mean, they were only scoring 16, 20 points a game through the first few games. It seems like they finally found their groove, and Goff is now utilizing all the weapons. And Ben Johnson isn't getting pass happy. He knows what the Lions are, which is a run-first physical team, and he's leaning into that. But, man, Hutch was the heart and soul of that defense. I mean, it's the equivalent of the Cowboys. Like, if you lost Micah Parsons for the year, he's gone. There's just no replacing it.
Yeah, no doubt. I get it. Listen, from a Cowboys standpoint, it was just one of those days that they have to hope doesn't come around again, and especially Mike McCarthy, because if you get another couple of historic losses like this, that seat will only get hotter, and he won't be around here much longer. All right, listen, we got to take another break, but when we come back, we're going to have fun. We got our game segment for you. It's true or false. Jonah has cooked up some very interesting
These are very
work
good.
for us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to get spicy here on the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show. Stay with us after this.
And now it's time for True False, sponsored by the Fort Worth Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Yes, I'm a regular game show host in the off-season. It's time to play True or False. And in honor of the Lions beating the absolute bejeebas out of the Cowboys, we are going to dedicate this edition to Dan Campbell. As some of you may know, the Lions head coach is from North Texas, grew up in the small town of Glen Rose, and so these questions will be related to his time at Glen Rose High School. We'll see how much Chris Lawrence has been paying attention to our feature stories on the mighty Dan Campbell. All right, true or false? Dan Campbell's nickname in high school was Boone. We'll go down the list here, starting with, or we'll just pop them up on camera and then we'll see what everybody thinks. That's a false from Chris, true from Joe T. Clarence is asleep at the wheel.
What's taking you so long to write it, Chill?
I can't.
True. Can you find it?
Yeah, we got you. All right. That is correct.
Yes.
It is true.
Yes.
All of his high school friends know him as Boone Campbell. All right, next one. True or false? Dan Campbell was voted Mr. Glen Rose High School in high school. This is a good one. Pretty proud of myself for this one here. What do you fellas think? Chris Lawrence going with false. Joe, true. Clarence still illegible.
Can you see my T?
Not
it's
at
a T.
all. It's a T.
It's a T.
All right, this one is false.
He was voted most likely to succeed.
Chris Lawrence getting it correct. All right, next one. True or false? Dan Campbell was a high school baseball star in addition to playing football, obviously. What do you guys think? All right, Joe T going false. Chris Lawrence, false. Chill.
Can you see my T?
No, you're just going to have to yell out your answers to us.
You can't see my T?
No.
He's
My
going
daughter's
true.
dry erase board.
Chill gets another one wrong. It is false.
False.
Dan
He didn't
Campbell,
play baseball.
he was a three-sport athlete
Everybody
at
plays
Glen Rose High
baseball in
School.
small schools.
He was football, basketball, and
yeah.
track, not baseball. All right.
Did you play baseball at Schulenburg,
I
Clarence?
played 5 sports: football, baseball, track, tennis. I did it all.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
True or false? Dan Campbell played tailback in high school. You guys know him as a tight end in the NFL and in college at Texas A&M. Did he play tailback in high school? True or false? What are the answers?
He played wherever he wanted to. Of course it's true.
Oh, Boone Campbell.
He played wherever he wanted to.
True from Chris Lawrence. True from Joe T.
He probably played
False.
quarterback, punter.
False.
Clarence
False.
Hill is on a mission to get every single one wrong tonight. This one is true. He played tailback and tight end. He did
He
everything.
doesn't look like a tailback.
He cleaned the
He's not even built
uniforms.
like a tailback. He was an eye fullback.
All right.
It was Glen Rose.
Clarence,
He played everything.
we're going to give you one last chance to get one of these right. By sheer odds, you got to be able to get one. All right.
I got the
True or
first one
false?
right.
Dan Campbell was voted most talented by his high school senior class.
Come on, Chill.
Talented.
You got to get one for 5.
Yeah, this has to be false.
We got to get you.
I love Dan Campbell.
That's right at the dreaded Mendoza line. We got to get you at 200.
This has to be false.
I was voted most likely to host a game show on a sports late night talk show.
This has to be false. You guys.
Chris Lawrence, true. Joe Trahan, true.
What you got, Chill?
Chill.
False.
False.
It's true.
For Chill.
Oh my goodness.
I cannot believe.
You know what Chill has in common with the Cowboys?
They got dominated today.
They couldn't score anything.
Oh.
They just couldn't get on the board. I'm sorry. I mean, they scored 9 points. Shout out Brandon Aubrey.
Regardless, Chill, thank you so much. We appreciate you being a part of the show. You always bring great comments. And listen, Chris, I am so glad you did this with us, man. Thanks so much. Congrats on your great day. Give your dad our best. And thanks so much for being a part of the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show. We're back with a final word after this. Thanks, guys.
All right, let's wrap things up for Joe's final take.
My final take is aimed at Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. You, sir, are on notice. Jerry Jones called that performance, that 47-9 awful loss against the Lions, concerning. That concern should be for Mike McCarthy and his job. We will stay tuned and see how that plays out. The Cowboys have the bye week, and then they've got 5 tough opponents after that. All right, that'll do it. Thanks, Jonah. Great work. Thanks so much for watching.
This has been the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show, sponsored by your North Texas Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive.